Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the 25th day of July, 2024. It is Thursday of the 16th week of the year, the 16th week in Ordinary Time. It is also today the feast of St. James, my feast. One of my feast days. Then there's also Philip and James, I think in October, November, something like that. But this is the main one. This is, again, if you're looking at St. James the Greater, St. James the Less, this is St. James the Greater. St. James the Less gets linked in with Philip. This James quite possibly was the leader in Jerusalem who was beheaded by Herod because of his leadership of the Christian community there in Jerusalem. Again, Peter, not necessarily the leader of the Christian community. It's not clear exactly what leadership was. And so if Peter is first pope, becoming a leader in Rome, maybe that's where that kind of takes place. Again, trying to trace the historical record for when the papacy began and who was the first pope is always very, very difficult. And we should not look for guarantees, in Scripture, because it doesn't really offer them like that. So James seems to have been a leader, and which seems to make sense. If Peter was about preaching and things like that, that was his job. He didn't do both. Again, it was usually one person, one responsibility, not like how things grew in our church, where basically the priest took on everything. It never should have been his responsibility to take on everything to begin with. So it's a little background again on James and again his role. Again, he is one of the early 12 again who are called to be companions of Jesus, into the companionship of Jesus. He is his brother John, again perhaps the author of the fourth gospel. They are the sons sometimes of Zebedee, sometimes also known as sons of thunder, and so that's kind of where our gospel brings us today, is to the encounter with the mother of the sons of thunder. And Jesus. But just to let you know, in the backyard here, again, the patio, Father Chris is kind of moving in gradually with different kinds of things. There is a flower pot bench in honor of his father that they made for him at St. Mary Magdalene. And then it is the mascot of St. Mary Magdalene Elementary School is the monarch. Again, son of the monarch butterfly is what Don Stibe, the original pastor, the pastor who built the church and things like that, he wanted the monarch butterfly to be the to be the mascot for the school. However, many of the children did not want to be the fighting butterflies. So monarch, all kinds of king, maybe press something like that. But this little chair, this iron chair in the shape of a monarch butterfly's wings, is something that the school children gave him upon his departure from St. Mary Magdalene. So they're adorning this backyard, which really have very little to adorn it except for a grill. So it's kind of nice. It is in between the raindrops today. It's still humid. Hopefully this will all break tomorrow and we can go back maybe to a little bit more temperate and relaxing weather. But back to James on this great feast day. Again, also it is 5 months exactly till Christmas Day. So 5 months till Christmas Day. Always nice. St. James kind of brings us into this downward spiral into Christmas at this later half of the year. So we're moving already into the later half of 2024. So who knows what surprises are in store. We'll see. But this gospel about the James, the son of the mother of the sons of Zebedee, she goes unnamed, and the sons of Zebedee are not named. We know them from earlier on, where it is James and John, but it is just the mother of the sons of Zebedee has this request of Christ, and basically it is, I want my sons to sit at your right and at your left. And again, what a wonderful mother to want that for her children. You could say it could be a good Jewish mother, but I think that any other kind of ethnic mother kind of always wants the best for her children, and so the mother of Zebedee should not be denied this. The mother sons of Zebedee shall not be denied this. And so she goes to Jesus with this request. But again, Jesus says it's an absurd request because those are not his to give. And so again, this distinction between what is his proper and what is God the Father's proper. And God the Father will decide, who gets honors and what have you, and not necessarily Jesus making sure this person's that, this person's that, and that person's this. Except for the thief in Luke's gospel, who is on the other cross next to Jesus, in which Jesus says, you will be with me in paradise. Jesus can make that decision in Luke's gospel, but in Matthew's gospel, Jesus is a little bit more careful in deciding things. That's how it is. But again, the thing is, it's not about honors. Because Jesus says, will you drink the cup I can drink from? And of course, James and John say, of course we can do anything, we're great. And so, but they're not, because they run away from the cross just like everybody else, and they go into hiding just like everybody else, and they have to be told by Magdalene and the various other women who witnessed the empty tomb tomb that Jesus has been raised, and then they don't believe them, and so it takes a while. But Jesus then basically goes on to say, but it's not about honors, it's not about pride, it's not about making sure that I get what's in it for me, that I get what's mine, I get what I deserve, I get my fair share, all these other I get. It's not about that. It's always about service. It's always about giving of ourselves to one another. And it's not just service, let's make some sandwiches for the poor and destitute and the homeless, or throw blankets at the homeless when it's cold. It is not just that. That is not service enough. Service is basically care. No more, no less. It's care about another person. It's letting another person into your life. It's knowing another person, even if that person happens to be a stranger. Who is this person? Why are they here? What has happened to them? It is involving all kinds of levels, and it is exhausting and it's time consuming, but that is what it means to serve truly and honestly. Little insights here and there. I went and worked at a soup kitchen is not enough. It's never enough. It's a start, yes, but that should also then lead not to serving in more soup kitchens, but to looking to care even more deeply about those who are around us and even those we do not know. How do we continue to care? How do we willingly decide to care is what true service means for Christ, and something, again, for all of us to consider at one point or another in our lives. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. A blessed feast of St. James to all the Jameses out there. May the Lord give you his peace.